Hey, looks like we are live, alive. It looks like we are alive, and all cryptids matter here at the Dark Radio Network Project. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you. Always feel free to share, talk to your friends about it. Never be embarrassed. Dead Man's Hollow, Stony Creek, Lake Wild. Big stories up there near Dolphin County. Sightings of dogmen. Just a part of a narrative tonight that we're going to be talking about. Maybe some names like or slogans. Tom, I think his name was it Tom DeLong? Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
DeLong. Men in Black, Corey Good, Worlds Beyond the Earth, Lou Alexandro. These are like the ufologist rock stars that are out there. Some come and gone. I just wanted to bring that up because I do try to touch base in the unknown about everything and some of the analogies that these come up, as well as some of the things they've shared. And it's God, we would need hours and hours to go over what they talk about, even the part of the three heavens. And then the angels. We have the good angels, we have the bad angels, and we know about that. You got the dark, you have what people call the fallen, and then some people say, well, this is how the cryptids all began. Maybe they're right. I don't know. We can't put ourselves out of this. This is a whole paradigm of a different world now where we're in. And that's another new word that's really out there now, the paradigm. I mean, everybody's talking, let's all talk paradigm. It's the new cool intro words. But anyway, yeah. So I came across a bunch of information that I've been looking at to start sharing out to some people. So I'm just going to give a real quick disclosure from what's going on at the Dark Radio Network Project here in America, Disclosing Uncensored. Ancient astronauts. One of the things that really sticks out in my head about these guys is, the tale is 1947. But when you look at all the evidence, it goes back thousands of years before that date for sure. All right. So, anyway, just things like that I would like to bring up and be able to talk about a little bit more, as well as pyramids and the other things that people have analogies on, even the books. When you get into the books, the morning of the magicians, the presence of the extraterrestrials, sciences and theories, and of course, the chariots of God, Eric Von Daniken. I mean, everybody knows that. He's one of the ones that put everything pretty much in layman terms. So we're going to try to do the same as we share and we talk and create analogies on all these beautiful topics. But we're here also tonight to talk about Bigfoot, paranormal, orbs, whatever surrounds these beautiful creatures, and all cryptids matter. Enough said there. Bill, introduce yourself. I apologize for waiting so long.
Hey, that's all right. I'll wait. You're on your roll there, brother. I'm Bill Rigby. I'm with the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. I'm team leader for the Mercer/Lawrence County chapter. And I see our chapter lady is out there. Not our chapter lady, but our group lady who started the group, Mary Fabian. She's out there. And my mentor, Jamie King. They're here with us tonight. Yes, we're definitely into Bigfoot. I definitely had a sighting, and I had been struck with infrasound. I've had stones and nuts thrown at us.
That sounds like what I go through when I was married.
The stone part, yes. Me too.
Hey, and you know what? With gas prices so high, why don't we just all stay home and drink? It's cheaper. But anyway, I'm just trying to
have gas.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bring a little humor to it. Also, you got like a big conference coming up in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania. Do you want to share it?
Normal conference.
And Mary's going to be speaking, correct?
Yes, she will be.
Yeah, right. All right.
She'll be speaking at it. It's the Butler Paranormal Conference at the Tanglewood Senior Center, and there in Butler. The first year I went was last year. They had great speakers, very informative. I loved it. And so I've been pushing advertising it for this year. They cover all ends of the paranormal.
Outstanding.
It's
Can
two
can
great
can,
groups
can you
two
can,
great
can,
groups come together on this to do it.
all right. Can you give us a little hint of what Mary's going to be talking about, or is it all secret? It's all
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Okay,
Yeah.
and all the secrets she knows about. And anyway, Mary, getting back to Mary and Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. If you go on the page and you have a loved one who really likes t-shirts and hoodies and sweatsuits and all these things, I'm just babbling here. She sells a lot of wonderful things. I've seen them. Please check her out. She has everything from super small, petite baby wear, probably all the way up to super squat size. So some of us wear that. Anyway, keep that in mind, and you can check on the site and find some of these outstanding goods. Shipping's very, very minimal. She's very good to people. She really is. So look her up. And again, Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Slippery Rock, Newcastle, everywhere out there. You can be involved in this. If this is what you love, come show up.
Hey,
It's right off 422, isn't it? That
it's right
location.
off of 422. Yes.
It's close by to everybody.
Yes. Yeah. And it's going to be great. But even so, we're doing that big camp out in April 21st through the 24th at Salt Fork State Park in Ohio. We're planning on having a great time. It's not just our group. We got different groups and people that just want to come camp out. And some of them are going to do squatching. I'm there just, this is the first camp out of the year. We're going to get there. There's different areas you can go there. It's a big state park and it's beautiful. And definitely a hot spot for Bigfoot in there. That's where I had my sighting last August. And, it's you just can't believe the park. It is that beautiful.
And I understand it's really, really affordable, like $5 a night.
$5 a night at the group camp site with us. It's $5 a person a night. And
That's outstanding. I mean, if you want to get away with your wife, take a few beers, a steak, a grill, pitch a tent for the evening, really hang out with beautiful people. You won't meet more beautiful people than people that are into Bigfoot, Dogman, cryptids, and more. Because it's all great conversation, paranormal stories around the campfire, everyone sharing all the knowledge and all the fascinating information that everybody's looking for firsthand, one-on-one with each other. It's just remarkable. That's good stuff.
Like I said, I got different groups coming in. I got different people coming in, just to get together, just to socialize, just to have a good time and do some squatching if they want. I'm not telling them they got to. And that $5 a person a night is what I'm paying the park. For everyone that shows up, I got to pay the park.
I understand.
And that's what they're charging me. So that's all I'm charging the people. I'm not there to make money. I'm there to have a good time, relax, and let's all get together, talk our stories and everything. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, yes, it is. And that's a fact. And you might have to give a whoop when you get in the door. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we
gotta keep it real. Got to keep it Bigfoot. You really, and you know what? Like I'm not joking when I told you you're going to have to come up to my wood shop up there on the top of the mountain.
I'm going to
check out some of the views and some of the areas back through the strip mines up to where Queenstown strip mine is and all that. Mm-hmm. I think you'll find that very enlightening, and not just for the sense of the Bigfoot. There's also very old historical cemeteries, different things, a lot of paranormal evidence. People go there and come out with some really good things. So bring your EVP recorder with you. But yeah, keep that in mind for yourself, because I know your schedule and your plate's full and more.
Next 2 months, it is. It's kind of full. With all honesty, the first and second, BORU, BORU is the acronym of it. The Butler Organization of Researchers of the Unexplained, I believe it is. They're doing a camp out. I'm going to go to that the first and the second. The 13th through the 14th, I'm going down to Reading, PA. two chapters down there are combining together, putting the Pennsylvania Bigfoot, and they're having their inaugural meeting. Mary's going, I'm going. We're going to speak there for them and help them get everything up and going. And it seemed like they already got a bunch of interest there. And we got the camp out the following week. And then the 30th, we got that there in Butler, and then Fayette County in May. It's just, we got a lot of stuff going on the next month. So, yeah, this is going to be fun.
Outstanding. You guys are the MUFON of Bigfoot of America. There's no doubt about it.
We're just busy.
I understand. So, I mean, being that you're a representative of Pennsylvania, just before we get into some stories and some information here to everybody, do you receive a lot of information throughout Pennsylvania through this past winter? Have you gotten a lot, or has it been more from?
We got a lot of things going from people, and I started having my meetings. It started in December. Was my first meeting that. Different people would come to the meetings and they start telling about their sightings and their experiences. I had people contacting me, private messaging me, telling me. And I guess I'm kind of the go-to person other than Mary in that group, which I don't mind. I enjoy hearing this, and I enjoy the people, trusting in me to tell me their stories.
Right.
And some of these stories are like, oh, wow, they put the hair in the back of my head stands up. And it's exciting to hear them too.
You actually have a van with the Bigfoot logo and everything. So when you're called, I mean, you're the Ghostbuster, but you are a factual person who takes this 100%, 110% serious, right? With Mary. So I get it. And by the way, Mary, hello to you. I did see that you said it. Let's say hi to Jenny King. Dave Parker's in saying hello, guys, showing support. Carl's in. A few other Mary Beth, but there's a few Mary Beths and Beth McCord's up. So I know why. She's probably out there sharing to 100 Bigfoot groups. Well, we gotta get the information out there and let them know that we welcome people into all groups and organizations. Yeah. As long as you realize that all Bigfoot matters, and it does. We got to change the narrative of America and break free and enjoy life and, find out what we need to find out. Get through this mystery that exists all around so much that we have.
And, well, Jenny King, her husband's Jamie. Yeah, you heard me talk about Jamie. He's my mentor. I love that couple so much. They are awesome. You can't help but love these people. They're a golden light. They really are. And I'm being dead honest.
That's beautiful.
How can I put it?
Any way you want, brother.
I don't want to sound corny, but the thing is with them, they give off this vibration, and it's all good. And I trust their judgment on things. That's why I call Jamie my mentor, because he'll tell you how he feels and sees it. And me and him discussed something Sunday, and it was a private conversation. I ain't going to bring it up, that I was really upset with. And me and him talking privately, he calmed me down and got me thinking. And, he's that type of person. But he's the go-to guy in this area for Bigfoot. He gets more reports than I do. He gets more paranormal reports than I do. He is the man. And, and if I got a question about anything about this stuff, I'll ask him. And he'll tell you what he thinks and he feels, and he says, well, it's his judgment, that what he thinks. It might not be right. And he's the one that always told me, And I always said it too, but he reinforces me on this. Keep an open mind. You
Yeah,
know
you have to
what
look
you're
at
doing.
all aspects. That's one of the
No, I'm
things
not
we learned.
stopping, Jamie. I'm bragging. Yes, I am bragging about you. But you know,
Wait, we got messages coming through. Go ahead, brother. You
yeah,
can talk to her.
Jamie King says stop it because I'm saying this about him. You know, he doesn't like to get his backpacked when from anybody because he he's like a private guy. He likes, but you know what? Everybody in the county here knows Jamie King, and that's no lie. Yeah, and I say, well, I talked to Jamie King. Oh, I know Jamie. Him and Jenny. That's how well these people are liked around here, and I take their word seriously. And I'll sit down and have a conversation and with them, and they say, how this is, that is, and then you throw your 2 cents in, and yeah, and they agree with you, or they'll say, well, it's like this. And I myself, I know a lot about this or that, but I don't know everything.
None of us do.
And
None of us do. But that's what the purpose of data and research is. I mean, I've been playing with it for 47 years. I'm not claiming that I get the most anything from anybody or reports, but I do have a way that I get them. I always have a way of getting them. But again, there's a method to the madness when it comes with it. When you analyze information, it's when it's in front of you, and how to go about it, what to look for, how to try to observe the best honesty, and testimonials and reactions of people when you talk to them. Let me ask you a question beyond that, though, because I'm not here to debate or base anything. Rock stars are the people who take the step to go forward, like you and everybody else in your community that's with you. How many reports, Bigfoot related, do you think you had in the last few months?
I got at least 12.
Okay, 12.
And they might not be recent, but they got a hold of me and said this about, well, this happened such a date. But we got a couple areas we got to go investigate here soon. The weather this year really screwed us up, with the cold and all that, and a lot of snow at one time where there was a report, and then it snowed, and where it was at, you couldn't get in because the snow was too deep.
Right.
And there was no way I was trying to take my van out on icy, snow-covered roads. I'd probably still be stuck there, because this was on some back roads. I had them over in Ohio. I got them down on the other side of Butler. I got reports, and around here, up toward Hadley. We get reports a lot, but like some of these were like the one over in Ohio. That's when I go back there, I'm taking some strong researchers with me, because I was in there by myself there right before Christmas, and I did not. It was all bad feelings, and they told me they had a creature back there, and it was big. Her kids saw him, and that. Well, Christmas time, everyone was busy, so I just wanted to go check it out. I took Venus, my shepherd, with me, and you had to walk a long field to get back there. I mean, it was long, and she's sniffing, checking everything out, and, real chalantly. And I'm looking around and seeing what I can see around the edges of the field. We get it right inside the wood line, finally, and I start getting a bad feeling. And I look at Venus, and she's on high alert. And it's not that she's stopping, but she's just walking and watching on high alert. Her ears are up, and she was stiff walking on. Something ain't right. And I go in a little ways, and I'm noticing a few things, and I just got that feeling. I'm out. I'm out of here. I go with my gut. And
Yeah,
that's what
sometimes your instincts are your best friend in a lot
yes,
of those
it is.
circumstances. Because when I had my encounters of things that happened in my life, you sometimes say, "What the hell did I wish for?"
Yep.
And you will get. I don't care what anybody says in that moment when it happens. Whatever that moment is for you, whatever you're out there doing, whether it's paranormal, ghost, or Bigfoot, or dogmen, or UFO, when it occurs,
Yep.
and you have a direct encounter of an intelligence, and you know it's intelligent, you will question your own mind, saying, "What did I do this for?" In that moment, you will, because it'll scare the crap out of you. I don't care
Yes.
what everybody says, because it
Yep.
happened to me that way. And I'd be lying to the world if I didn't admittedly say that it scared the crap out of me, because it was what I had was right in front of
Exactly.
me. And until you experience that, you just don't know. So it's
Exactly.
to go there
The
as
thing
you
is,
did.
like you said, you got to admit that it scared the crap out of you. I don't get scared of nothing. I don't. When I had my encounter last August, I about shit myself. And I ain't lying. I was that scared. I don't back up from nothing. I was backing up. Of course, it was 15 feet from me. And when it stood straight up, that thing was around 7 foot tall, 4 foot wide, and all muscles. I was backing up. That thing could have torn me apart like instantly, but it didn't. I'm lucky.
Can I ask you a question about the sighting that you had? Just real is a real simple question. You are making statements towards its anatomy. So was it like long shaggy fur, or was it short fur? In your instance,
I'm going to say 6, 7 inches long was the fur.
and you could still make out the anatomy of the muscle and the
Yeah,
mass.
you could see it. You couldn't see no neck because it's all trapeze muscles there.
Right, it's all traps. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, gotcha.
but you could see the muscles on it. You can actually, the way it was built. Um, at 15 feet, you're going to see a lot. And the one thing, I've told people, and they said, "Well, what color eyes?" I don't know. I would not look in the eyes.
Yeah.
I will not. No, that to me, that's a predator, and I'm not going to show. Give it a chance to say, "Oh, you want to fight?" No, I'm not going to stare in the eyes, but I am watching your body movement.
Yeah. I have a story that radiates a lot about how you're stating what you're stating, a little bit different than it occurred in 1975. I hope to touch base with it on you tonight.
All right.
That's really fascinating, because not many, some people search their whole lives for things, and for whatever reason things don't happen for them. um, it's circumstantial. No one knows why that is. Some people will go through life and never have any experience of anything. When it comes into supernatural or cryptid and paranormal and all those levels of different amazing events, but there are
Well,
some of us that
you're
just
right.
whatever
You're
for
right.
whatever
'Cause,
reason they happen to us all the time.
and when I went to Salt Fork, since it's such a hot spot for Bigfoot, I did not expect to see one because you got too many people running around there. I wanted to hear the Ohio howl.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not expect, even though I'm out looking and that, I did not expect to see one. And I wanted to because I was always a believer. I wanted to.
Right.
Um, And then after that, I was questioning why did I want to? You
Yeah,
know,
I went through the same thing. I
yeah,
did. I went through
you
the
know,
same thing.
and you know, it just now I want to find out not just scientifically, but I want to know why did bending the trees like that? Why the structures are like that? You know, what's the axes are for? Why do they do the things they do?
That's
You know, I got all these questions I want answers to, and
right.
that's just a couple little ones, you know. Uh, and I get very angry when someone says, "Well, you know, we want to kill one to prove to the world." I don't want to kill them. I want to learn from them.
Right.
You know, because Bigfoot is an intelligent creature, and I say they're more intelligent than humans because you know they can stay hidden better than we can. And,
They are, yeah. I reflect to something in a story that I was gonna actually, like I said, I was gonna get to, and how I came up with my analogy on that. What you just said was, let me see here. Let me just look for a quick minute. These are the masters of the hide and seek,
oh yeah,
and that's exactly what it is too. They they
they're not hiding; they're blending.
well, but the yeah,
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but my analogy to it
yeah,
was uh, it, they may be blending, but to me, it's a sense probably of a defense.
yeah.
Um, if you, which goes to say, if you don't have the need to know, then you're not going to know, and
And
that's why people are thinking, well, that's a tree. Is that a tree stump? And because it doesn't move, it doesn't. A lot of people just wait. Oh, it's not. That's nothing there. It's just a dead tree. It's wetter. It's absorbing moisture from the rains differently than the
yeah,
other trees.
all
And
right. Here's how you figure that one out. You go back the next day
well, yeah,
and check it out because I
take the
took
same
a picture
pictures.
in this woods. I took this picture and I'm at home. I'm looking. I went, there's one right there. There's one right there. We went back a couple days later to check it out, and make sure it was a damn tree stump.
Yeah.
You know, then granted, different ones puts up this picture, say, "Oh, there's one there," and it's pareidolia. You know, yeah. But the thing is, with these creatures here, you know, I even got the shirt, like you said, hide and seek champion. I even got that shirt, and but they blend in with their surrounding.
I didn't know there was a shirt like that out there.
Yes, and I got it.
The Masters of Hide and Seek, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And hey, listen, Mary, if there's not a shirt out there that says the Masters of Hide and Seek, I say we get one together because it's exactly what they are. And it
Uh,
may not be that they're playing hide and seek as you're referring to, and I agree. But they do what they do, and it does fool us.
yes, and because truthfully, the one that I saw, and when I first had the movement on the right side in my peripheral vision, and I turned and looked, I did not know he was there because I just walked up and started kneeling down, looking down the trail. Okay, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him there when I was walking up. He was blending in, but he was right there. And then he went to lean in, and he stuck his hand out in front of him to lean in and look at me closer. And I saw his hand movement.
Mm-hmm. So always return to the scene of the crime. That's so to speak. All right. So the story I
Oh,
was going to tell tonight, not to take you off, but because
right.
so much of everything of what you're saying is all over this sheet. But I'm going to do it a little
Yeah.
different because I know we have a lot of other stuff we'll be able to talk about. So I'm going to do a short narrative of it, and one night I'll do the long narrative of real stories, real encounters.
Right.
1975, a young man's living with his parents, okay, up in Maine. So in the woods of Maine, and I wouldn't say barrens of Maine or anything, but you- countryish
Right.
surrounding with land and so forth. Um, a young man gets in an argument with his parents, and he's, at that age, 17 years old, and it's like, so, he knows the land, he knows the farm, he walks out the door, he decides, I'm going to go clear my mind. This is the way, this was an actual interview. He's going to clear his mind, and he goes over by the barn. There's a fire pit over there, so he can lean up his back against, the barn and sit at the fire and whatnot. As he's sitting at the fire, all these noises and loud breaks and all these things start to occur. Things that we all know about, that we hear about, he was experiencing. So he didn't know what it was, and it was startling to him. So, he started to clap his hands like really loud as he could to try to get that echo to the woods. And
Right.
it continued. It was thrashing. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, as he's putting out the fire, that basically made him jump from his shoes. But I'm using a cleaner bit of language here. It was a WTF moment for the guy.
Right.
He heard the loudest roar imaginable, and he knew everything as we do. Well, maybe we don't all think we know what animals sound like, but animals cry when they're being chased, when they're being killed. They
Hmm.
will yelp in ways that you could mistake something without a doubt. So, nevertheless, he goes through this. He doesn't understand what it is. He's peeking around the side of the barn, which goes down a hill into a ravine. All the noise is coming from this ravine that's like a valley, but it's called a
Right.
ravine. And his testimony. So, okay, that's all good to go. That's where the story kind of goes for that evening. As he's leaving to go back, a few more roars come, and he hightails it back to the house. And he starts to think about things that he saw on TV shows, and different things, and trying to put an analogy together, as well as even looking up people who study gorillas and everything else. He got fascinated with it as one of these things that happens to a lot of us that make us deep dive into this scenario. That's where he was. So he decides the next day to share to his friends, which he normally wouldn't do, expecting everyone's going to tell him it's this, that, and the other. Well, nobody did. So one friend decided with him, hey, look, why don't I come out there with you tomorrow? We'll go with, some things in hand for protection, and we'll just see how it goes. So they do it. They go out around nightfall-ish. It's still a little bit of daylight. And as they're approaching the barn, behind the barn is the ravine. They're already starting to hear the thrashing and cracking of branches and so forth. Maybe it was, Bigfoot playing. I don't know at that point, because it wasn't really said. It is said later in his interview that that is what they were encountering. But during this small portion of that night and encounter, it became so bad for protection, but only as a warning. The guy took his shotgun and shot it up into the air. Well, that just ticked it off more, and the roars became even louder. That said and done, they hightailed it out of there. And he thought to himself, how do I get beyond this? So he starts going out in the morning. He's using binoculars. He's looking down into the woods. He's starting to see structures and things. It's unquestionable what's going on. And he decides, okay, all right, all good. So he decides to go up on top of the hill, lay in the sun for a while. Nightfall's going to be coming, I guess, through his experience of getting up onto the hill. I know I'm jumping over some areas, but they're actually unimportant. He goes up there, lays back in the grass, and it's the thicket of the grass when it's, about 3 foot high. And that gives him his best sighting. So he can see all the land. He can see the stars as they're coming out and whatnot. He starts to actually doze off. And he dozes off, and the roars start to occur, but they're right next to him, like if they're playing with him in this 3 foot high grass. Well, again, he runs off like scared as a bat out of hell. He knows he's dealing with something. At that point, it finally, in his mind, he's accepted into the fact that he's playing with a Bigfoot or something like that, a cryptic creature. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows it has to be something because he could feel the pressures of the roars in his own chest, the base of the roars in his chest. With that happening, he decides, how do I go about this? What does everybody else do when they're trying to go into areas where there's animals and confrontations, but they're leaving things they're trying to gift? So he digs up all this information, looks up all the right people, and he decides to take a different narrative. He doesn't want to be pushed away. Now, this is a young man getting ready to go into the military, which he does do in 1978. He goes into Desert Storm. But for these 3 years, from 1975 to 78, he stayed in those woods every day then. He never gave up. And what he did learn is he did everything they did. And by the time he left, they accepted him. He peed on trees. He left foods because he thought they were leaving him things. The more he acted like them, when they roared, he roared. The interactions were the same. If they whooped, he whooped. He stood his ground, and they finally accepted him.
See, I got a problem with him roaring back and whooping back because, they might.
Problem or not, Bill, I can only reflect to an actual interview.
Yeah, I got a problem with it because that makes me leery because we don't know what they're actually whooping about or they're roaring at you about. Now, I talked to several people that heard their roars that vibrated to their body. They said like a ton of airwaves going through them. That would scare the hell out of me.
I get your point.
Why are they screaming at you that way? Do they want you out of there?
Probably, but he stood his ground for every day for 3 years. He kept going back to his territory, even peeing in it, marking it, putting things in trees, and building his own structures and leaf piles, doing what they did. That's how he described it. Like I said, the story is much longer, but
makes sense. It does make sense. If that, if it works for them, great. The areas I go into a lot, so they can get to know me, know that I'm not in there to cause problems. I'm not, and I respect it's their property to me, and I'm just trespassing on it. Yeah. I'm glad that worked for him.
Again, I'm not on his. I'm not against you, and I'm not on his side. I can.
No. To me, I'm leery of trying to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And number one, I'm getting old. I don't want to fight with them.
I get that.
It's all seriousness. I don't want to fight with those guys. They're a lot bigger than me. But I want to learn why they're doing that stuff. Structures and all that.
Yeah, he never makes mention of anything like that.
Yeah.
The only thing he said, the more that he did that interacted with their ways, the less and less agitated they were.
Yeah. Okay. I can understand that too.
So if I misspoke, I apologize to you.
Yeah, I don't doubt him one bit, but to me, I'm kind of leery trying doing stuff like that. Jen Wardrobe says she heard they smell like skunk, filth, and wet dog. The one that was next to me, I did not smell. Other ones have smelled them.
But we do hear that at times.
Yeah, we do hear that.
Get a very bad odor. I don't know if that comes from swamp, the swamp creature. The story.
I think it's some kind of defense mechanism.
The possibility exists. I mean, a skunk can do it. So.
Yeah. They put it off to make you go away from that area, like a skunk does to us. Yeah, that's why some places call them skunk ape.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that I liked about the story
Yeah.
was how when you compare apple to oranges here, how
Yeah.
they lived, how he presented himself to them to get accepted. I mean, if let's just the reason I bring this up is because they're probably hiding around people's homes that don't even have an awareness to it. But if something would ever happen,
Yeah.
maybe this is a good way to possibly communicate with them
Yeah.
by you see one structure. Maybe we ought to take the time when we're in the woods doing the research to build one for them
Uh,
to give them one back, just to say, like, our presence was here. We're not here to bother you. And in a way, you're gifting to them and acknowledging their way of life.
well, I was told this weekend. I was told through someone else that this guy, his property. I'm sitting there listening to this story, and he goes, he has them on his property. He says, but the whole way along the edge of the woods, there's bent trees,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all bent all in the same way, like a fence line. He says, to him, that's the fence line for them not to come to his house and for him not to go into their area. And which makes sense.
Yeah, you're trying to create a
A
non
cohabitation thing.
yeah.
I
No,
see it as.
yeah, I mean, so I think it's a good analogy, like what you just explained,
Yeah.
what your witness is talking about versus how this interview went. And remember, now this fella's much older now. He went through the military, done his own thing, and he only released this story a couple of years ago.
Right.
Even though this all took place back 1975 to 78. And then you have the one guy that I have two people. You got David Parker, who you've met. You've been on shows with me and him with.
He made a comment here. Yeah.
The man that lives amongst them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dave has ever tried to do the things like this. I'm sure he'll weigh into me on the next show that we do together. Some of his ideas about that. But again, until we take steps that may be more interesting or just
Right.
a betterment of communication. We got, maybe it's what we're missing. Maybe that's part of the key element in ways. I don't know.
Well,
Because once you hit the tree lines, it's all theirs.
yeah, we're in their area. And what Jenny King just said too, her and Jamie didn't smell anything, but maybe they weren't downwind from it when it did its yell at them, and they did not smell it at all. I didn't smell it. I talked to people that did smell it. And the other thing too, on these calls that this kid was doing, well, died now, but like Dave Parker said, he would not advise making aggressive calls. I don't know their calls. What is aggressive? What is not? You know.
Well, look at
I'm not
Bobo.
going to mock them with their own calls.
You remember Bobo, right?
Yeah.
Bobo was, I mean, they were screaming things that I don't think a Bigfoot even would understand. They were probably saying, "What the hell's that guy doing to that woman up there?" Better stay out of this thing. We don't need to get involved. That would be what big. Some of the noises they made and some of the calls.
When I was a kid, I used to do Tarzan calls in the woods. Right? And if they were in there, they're probably looking over toward me saying, "What idiot's this?" You know?
Right. I mean, they to me, the fascination of the intelligence is they probably would be looking at each other saying, "What the hell?" The same way we look at each other and say, "Well, what the hell's that?" But this is their communication. This is their playground, not ours. And when they're in it and they're communicating with their young and their females, and they probably all forage in ways for themselves, of course, maybe possibly hunt for themselves as well as the adult males leading packs. These things could be true. People, I've heard like at least seven really good stories in the past 20 years that does say that they do communicate with herds of coyotes somehow, that they utilize them as a packing agent for gathering deer,
Yes.
because within a
Yes.
flash they'll
And
take out the deer.
another thing too, they got different. They have done different language communication. They have done hand signals. Um, they whistle. They bird chirp. The Ohio howl. The samurai chatter. So when they yell, you got to think that might be an aggressive thing to tell you get out of there. Especially you start going with your gut feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I always say go by your gut. It just there's so many variables there.
Yeah. I mean, we do hear, and some people scientifically looked into some of these um, sounds or verbalages that they used that were in recordings, and they were not, I was going to say diagnosed, but they were scientifically looked into by people who do languages, and they said it seemed to be some type of language. So there are
Right.
recordings of these animals, these entities, communicating in a way that we don't understand, that they do have their own type of specific language.
That's why. See if you've seen this pouch
Oh,
here.
do you have the Chinese chatterbox thing?
No, I got a voice recorder.
Oh, okay. Well, your phone's a voice recorder too. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
but this picks it up better.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna record it and study it, and when I hear them, like I said, I want to learn all aspects about them. Um, and I know for a fact they can be aggressive or they can be passive. I think they can tell if you're going to be aggressive in there, so they'll be aggressive, and they'll warn the other ones, "Hey, this one's here," or "Hey, you're close to our youngs, you better get away from them." They let out that.
Yeah. Do you think, like in some characteristics of species, the females are more violent than the males are? Do you think they're equal when it comes to that, or do you think the male would be the more dominant worry part?
Well, if the male's there when you're getting close to those kids, I'd be more worried of the male than the female. The female's going to protect her baby, guaranteed. And, like a mother hen, look out. But
And that's one of
you
the
get the
worries.
male there, you better triple look out.
Yeah, well, that's one of their worries, because you know what? Even when they grow up, if mama's still alive, they're still her children.
Mhm.
So to me, that's what makes me wonder, who would be the more aggressive of the pair, the male or the female. Again, with
It's
intelligence
either or.
comes love, comes sexuality, becomes a life, the same as we have when we share a home and have kids and a wife.
All right.
What's that? You going to read a long statement to me or something?
No, what Carl wrote. I was reading it.
Hello, Carl.
Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, you're not going to sneak up on them with a flashlight. But you're right. And these people are the ones to get pictures of them with these trail cams. There ain't no way in hell. It might be accidental. A big part will screw up. These trail cams put off sound.
Yeah.
A lot of them we can't hear. The light sensor, the whole 9 yards.
Right. Yeah, I understand it's hard, but here we are.
I just,
It's still a wonderful place to be in.
yes, and I'm going to be in the woods a lot this year. Of course, I can't drive too far with the price of gas.
That's why I told you.
FJB,
When it's
I
cheaper
didn't
to
say
drink, when it's cheaper to drink, you drink. You know, who would have thought? But the truth of the matter is, you go into some bars, it's $9 for a beer. Nobody seems to bitch. But and here we're.
I do. I remember when beer was 50 cents.
Well, I hear you.
But
Everybody needs.
You know what? With all honesty, when you come back down to their attitudes, okay, and
Who are we speaking
getting
of?
in their woods, going into the woods.
Oh, okay.
You're going in there. Now, are they going to be aggressive? Well, they're like humans. Every human got their own personality. Some got a very bad temper.
Yeah.
They got no morals. They're going to just go in and start killing you for no reason.
Well, we do hear about that.
Traits.
See, that's another part of the activity that we do hear about now that's becoming more of an awareness. Like when you get into the missing 411, 411, and so the missing children, especially when it comes to state parks, are there subterranean tunnels of evil human beings who are kidnapping people, or is it really Bigfoot or dogmen? Is it something like that? Because these numbers are so immense, it's bizarre. And I'm not trying to say that Bigfoot is the bad guy or he's the killer, nothing like that.
You don't know.
We do not. We do not.
Speculate. All right. Yeah, Bigfoot did. Oh, no, Dogman did. No, some extraterrestrial snagged them up in the woods.
Right.
Just don't know.
The possibilities endless. It truly is. Yeah, the possibilities.
There's how can I put it? Like down at Southport, there's probably a group of Bigfoots there. A couple different groups of them, families of them. But then a young male growing up, he becomes very aggressive. He gets kicked out. He got to live on his own. Now we got a badass that's going out snagging people up because he don't care anymore. You can have something like that. Dogman. I wouldn't want to face off with a dogman at all.
No.
And
I think I got a better chance with Bigfoot. When you take a look at that creature, from everything we know about him, her, them, it, they just look very suspiciously scary. That's just how they come off.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we don't need to fear it at all, but again, animals sense fear, and I think when that type of thing happens, you might be putting yourself in more of a dilemma. So you may not be ready for what you're walking in the woods to do. So just prepare your mind for that.
You're right. Now, I was fortunate with my sighting because as close as I was, I wasn't a rogue Bigfoot. Because if it was a rogue one, I'd be dead right now. Right then, it was that close. And if it was a dog man, I would have been dead because of the fear I put off. I know I put off.
Yeah. I talk about that. I talk about exactly what you said in my experience too.
Yeah.
It was when I was thinking in my head, exactly like what the hell did I get myself into? It was like there was a back off, like it was known.
Yeah.
Because after that moment and no final clicks of the light that I was using that made this that created this contact, and I'm telling you that's what created it. That it did work, and again, that's my analogy. when you put yourself in that position, they know it. They may even just say, he's nothing,
Well,
Um,
I say a prayer before I go in, and I mentally speak to them. Oh, that's weird. Or you're mentally speaking. No, I'm putting out there. I'm not here aggressively. I'm here just to enjoy nature. I'm not here to do any harm to you guys. Like that.
right.
And you know, some people say, "Oh, that's weird. That's goofy. You're just a little touched upstairs." But to me, when you're putting that out there and they can sense it, okay?
I think they pick up all our senses. I
Yeah,
just do.
exactly, exactly. It could be if you're in a bad mood. My shepherd right here knows when I'm in a bad mood.
Right.
Now, my or if I'm not feeling good, and like with my wife after the surgery, the shepherd usually lays on my side of the bed on the floor, stayed over by her. These That's just an example of how animals are. And I can't remember. Someone asked, do you think do they protect the good people compared to the bad people?
They might just be those type of watchers. Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I
We
want to
don't know.
think they do. I want because of that thing that the kid said he was saved by a bear, that toddler
I remember the story. Yeah.
down in North Carolina. Yeah. Yeah. How would a bear do that?
No
I,
idea.
I don't buy it was a bear. I say it was a Bigfoot.
Well, again, we're talking about a very young person here, just trying to do
Right.
your best to share the story of the encounter, and
Right.
some of these encounters, even that where the children go missing, they find things that are like 5 miles away in one shoe. Or all the clothes, and it's all stacked up the same way. A lot of
Yep.
these things have the same reoccurrence, as if it's necessary for them to let you know that like there's a message to this. And that's why I think missing 411 starting to jump more into the narrative of cryptid being involved, and it's not all human abductions or alien abductions.
Exactly. Exactly. And I just don't. That's my thing. I gotta know. And even more so since my encounter, uh, it really got me fired up getting in the woods and just learning as much as I can.
Right.
Not just to learn, but enjoy nature out there. You know, I had a great Sunday afternoon. I really did. I was out with a great group of people. We went hiking and just being out there relaxed all of us. And of course, being with great people helps too. But, and we saw a bunch of stuff and it was really neat. Um, uh, the one tree that that was it's over 200 years old just by the size of it. But they had a big opening in the center at the base of it where you can actually get in and sit down. A human can sit down right there and get a picture of yourself inside that tree. Uh, and it was along the river.
Trees
And
are very expressive. I don't. I mean, when
Mhm.
you have you ever looked at some of the pictures? And this is where the theory of the Indians and the wood spirits come in. That where you'll see some things that almost look like people interacting with each other sexually and more. There are all no. I mean, hey, you got to tell the
I'm not
story.
because we were saying there's a girl tree, there's a boy tree this
The,
weekend. Yeah.
the truth of the matter is, you can see faces in the bark and more. All
Yeah.
you have to do is look. And to me, that's a spirit entity of a wood spirit within that structure, because this vibration of everything one and everything from one, I find that that's more fascinating than everything and more compelling because we all came from something from the beginning. It doesn't matter. You can construe how you want to, what that means to you. But when you look at things like this and you're in the forest, it's very eye-opening if you just pay very close attention. And that's why people take pictures of these things.
You know, trees bring so much to life too. You know, they really do. You know, different animals, different birds. Yeah. Where they hang out at? Around trees.
Of course.
Yeah. Where do us humans go? We go and some people go and hug trees.
Yeah.
Other ones go climb and fall out of them, like me. You know, but with all honesty, you know, Pennsylvania got the oldest old growth woods in the United States, and that's a fact. You know, and I love being in the woods here, and even in Ohio, I love being in the woods. And Jamie King goes, "Trees are the lungs of the earth," and he's right.
He's absolutely very well said. He's absolutely correct. We need every species of life is important, and you know we're in a place now on this planet where everything is subjected to a demise through creation of man's hand, and we need to protect Mother Earth more. We really do, because we need a corrected balance, a vibration of balance. And we now also know scientifically, since we're talking about trees, let's throw plants into the sequence just for a real quick moment here. Scientists are recording harmonical music coming from plants.
Yes, the vibrations of the
everything is alive. Everything is alive.
A rock will give off
certain properties of information.
Vibration. Mary Fabian sent me a thing saying she's blocked from your page for some reason.
Who is?
Mary Fabian.
No. How?
Yeah, she's on a block list for some reason. She just sent
it. I didn't know. How do I fix her?
We'll do that after the meeting.
Mary, tell Mary. I don't wait. Let me. It tells me that she's what? No, wait. I'm sorry. That's Tina Moss. I'm looking at. Hi, Tina. Where are you at, girl? Click in with us. Hold on. Beth? Where are you? I need you to do something. Could you check Mary Fabian, please, on the page, and let us know what's going on. I scroll through things. If something happened on my doing because the page jumps when I'm doing it,
all right.
I was probably trying to give somebody a thumbs up, and it might have jumped on me, and I didn't see that. My most humble apologies. I would never do that to her.
Quick, let's talk about it. No.
All right, let's talk about Mary. Mary sells sweatshirts. Mary sells hoodies.
What about Mary? Oh, that's a movie.
Mary sells everything paranormal, Bigfoot. I'm sorry, it's not paranormal. You know, but if you believe she has, we believe T-shirts. I guarantee you, everything from cute, cuddly, small to super squat size. Mary, I'm sorry, I don't know how to even correct something like that.
It just popped up. So, but anyhow, let's get back to where we were at.
Doesn't she have a false name? Everybody has a second name. Jump back in here.
Yeah.
Best checking. We just got word best checking because I don't know what happened. I honestly, I'd never do that to the young lady. No way.
But anyhow, like we were saying about the vibration, everything got vibrational frequency, like Jamie King said. And I sent word to him and Brian Seach. I want us to sit down and go over that. Because that's something I'm really dwelling into more and more. Because everything gives off a vibration. Everything.
Yeah, including us.
Yeah, including a rock.
Yeah, well, technology. Where do you think technology comes from? Minerals, which were rocks.
Yeah.
And fossils from the ocean.
And the thing is, we can learn so much just from that. It's just unreal that the different frequencies of these vibrations and how they do things. And that's like with the trail cams, they give off some kind of frequency vibration. And I believe the Bigfoot can.
They can hear the batteries hum. I'll bet money.
I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee
There's
it.
something about that. But you know what? I received a picture the other day that I'll send to you. I'll make sure it's okay to share it. And I don't think there'll be any reason why not to. It was just sent to me. And it's a picture of what is believed to be the back of a head of a dogman. I don't know a dog that has this type of characteristics. The ears are very small. And I study anatomy because I would carve for bears. I'm not the best carver, and I can't make I can do some incredible work if I just have the time to sit down to do it. I can sculpt pretty darn well. I really can.
Right.
But the point is this: the reports that I got from up in Dauphin County, referring to this same description of this particular animal, was that they had the properties of a face of dog-like, but also pig-like when it came to the fangs. The lower fangs sort of protruded out this way on their sighting of what they saw while it was foraging in a using hands, long, cylindrical, like almost looked the way they were described to me. How I understood them. Say you had really bad arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, even where you get degenerate, different looking. Yes, that's how their fingers and hands worked. And the description. They also claimed that their ears were like almost 7 inches tall.
Shepherd type, though.
Yes, not short type like bear, right. Or what you would see some of these, what do they call, like Kodiak dogs, some of these mixed breeds that they're coming out now with. They have a very round fur face, but very short ears. Right. So you have that scenario. I don't know what this is in the picture. And of course, it's not a face shot.
Of course, no.
Why would it be? You know what I mean? Takes us right back to that element.
That's the thing. Try to get a good picture of one. Yeah, Dave, like Anubis.
Anubis?
Anubis, yeah. And that's where a lot of the dogmans are described. Their features. So it's, I don't know. Yeah. I don't ever want to see one.
Right. So
everything I heard
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue.
Anything about a dog man I've heard, I really don't want to see one in person.
But they're here in Pennsylvania. You might
just. They are. We have reports around here.
I'm wondering. I have a wonder of thought right now. We do know that there are certain recordings of vibrational music, spiritual musics. Some people call it space music. It's vibrational music. There's also plant vibration music now that is being translated back into speaker from what they are getting from the forest. I wonder if Bigfoot, Dogman, and other cryptids like this hear these things, these communications going on where we don't hear them. We're not. Yeah. It's like their sense of smell is better.
We're not, but how much of it we don't know.
Maybe it's a new tool we could use when we go into the woods.
Yeah.
Play these low frequency sounds and see if they help better than whooping, whistling, tree knocking, and more. And screaming. The big roar.
Yeah. And Jenny King liked that question you put there. All right. Jen Woodworth got another good question out there.
Give it to us, Jenny.
Have you noticed any more activities, aggressive or otherwise, since more 5G towers are up?
Oh, that is really interesting. And I'll be honest with you, we're just seeing the highlight of that occurrence in Pennsylvania. So I have a big no to give you on that. But brilliant question. That really is. Could this interfere in some way with Bigfoot? Will they tolerate it? Maybe they'll be the ones to tear these tires down.
Maybe, but
You know what
the
I
other
mean?
thing too is, all right, those windmills like they
Okay.
got down in Fayette County
Hmm.
and down in that area up on the mountain.
Go down through Somerset off the turnpike. They're everywhere.
Down in there, you will see structures down there, around there, and they've known to be seen. Bigfoot's known to be seen around there. I don't know about Dogman. I didn't hear anything
Yeah.
about that, but those 5G towers, I don't know.
I don't either, but I do know that that's the way of the future. Will it affect them? That's something we have to keep on the table here.
Yeah, because 5G's only been out a couple years now, so we'll find out more as the few more years progress. And Bettina, always wondered about that too. Unknown canine attacks on people lately. You know, I just don't know. And there has been an upscale more canine attacks. And, and it's not being totally reported. So, so I just don't know. And that I can't say.
Yeah, I'm really spacing here on this technology frequency thing that controls the weather seeding and climate. And by the way, just for everybody's sake, I want to send up prayers to these guys down in Texas. The minute these guys fight laws, it seems like something devastating hits that state. They can't stand up for strength in their own state of good, and when they do, it's like they're decimated with encounters of weather issues. First time, some people call it off. Now the second time, tornadoes everywhere, causing destructive havoc throughout the entire state. And now
the weather thing, that's not man-made. That's natural. Texas always got tornadoes. They got hurricanes. That's like Louisiana too. Yeah, same area.
You're saying that this is probably something that's normal?
Semi-normal.
Okay. Well,
when it comes to all that
climate
thing. Yeah. This climate change crap.
So you kind of agree with the climate weaponry, but you're
not
kind of like
not totally. And this climate change.
I can do an experiment in front of you and show you that it works under a tank.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I can make it do this, but I can't make winds. I mean, but please go on the page where you're admin to so you can get informed. I put this stuff right there for you.
I know.
It's rather compelling.
Oh, by the way, Beth says, Michael, you blocked Mary.
I didn't do anything intentionally. I'm trying to say hello to people as I'm scrolling on the baby monitor.
All right.
Mary, come kick my butt. It's okay. And Tina
you're
said,
gonna have to go to your block list and unblock her.
She's blocked on my Facebook page. Is that what that would do?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm going to go there now because I'm upset with myself.
Oh yeah, you kick yourself in the ass now.
Well, how do you find that? Settings?
Yeah.
All right, man. I got to make this right for this young lady because I don't even know what to say. Stupid. All right, so look, we have fun. That is everything. We can agree to disagree. You have a different analogy
than
I do on a couple things, and that's great. But again, we're going to learn from what the future foretells.
I might disagree with you, but I ain't saying you're wrong either.
Right. And all I'm saying is, there's enough information out there. And if you listen to a couple John F. Kennedy speeches, they were already changing the weather for us in wars. So they do have these capabilities. And when it comes from a president's mouth, and even Trump's been talking highly on the activeness of what's going on with it
Right.
very recently. You better bet your bottom dollar they can create catastrophic effects with what they can do. But I'm not saying that you're wrong here either. It just seems to me, though, that things like this happen, but prayers are still the most important reason why I brought it up. These guys just battled back from a winter glacial storm down there that they encountered, where everything around them was 50 degrees and they were the only place that had this issue. So, all right. So I'm looking to see how to save my butt here and get some forgiveness from Mary. And I don't know where to find. Oh, settings, privacies.
Yes.
All right. So going into settings here, news feed, post, browsers, access.
Down towards the bottom of all that, it should have block.
Yeah, there is blocking.
All right. Click on it.
Oh, Christ, I did do it. That was an accident. I swear to gosh.
I told her you did it accidentally.
Yeah, I would never do that to her. I have no reason to do that. I've never blocked anybody, not one time in my group chats. Never. So when these things come up, sometimes my screen jumps.
Right.
And she's back. She's right there now.
Hey, Mary.
Watch
he
this.
Did it on purpose. Don't let him lie. No.
She's gonna kick my ass at the Club Paranormal up in Butler, huh?
Yo, you coming to that?
I'm gonna be a speaker.
Oh, you're a speaker. I didn't.
No, I'm not. I'm just joking. I'm coming.
I didn't see your name on the list. Did I miss it?
No, I'm just joking. I do enough of speaking. I don't need to do anymore.
Yeah, you talk.
Watch this winning story about a girl's last wish to meet Bigfoot, filmed in Pennsylvania. Now you're talking my job, okay?
No, wait a minute. Where are you reading that
at? Mary M. Fabian posted this 4 hours ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's called A Wish for Giants.
Yeah.
Yep. Filmed here, right in Pennsylvania.
Yes, it was.
Yep. Just like Mothman. It's your factor. Right. So you can this Mothman, Jersey Devil. Before you jump off and leave, what do you think? Are they kind of alike? And what's your
I don't know.
On that?
I can't honestly say. You know what?
Fascinating story, though, isn't it? I mean, a bipedal humanoid with gigantic wings flying towards cars, wingspan like 8 feet.
You don't understand about Mothman. He's there to protect.
I don't know.
From what I heard.
Well, that's been said, but when you see movies, there's a different narration of things, and you sort of take that in. Now, Mothman was filmed right down the street from here.
Yeah.
And I happen to know everybody that was involved on that picture because I worked in movies in Pennsylvania with people here, in locations, transportation, grips, the PAs. Hello, Wino, if you hear this. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of these fascinating things, where people have come out of their house and this creature's sitting on their rooftop while they're taking out the trash. Yeah. I mean, we hear so many different stories, but none of us are really talking enough. See, there's a lot of groups out there, and there's cryptozoology and crypto, but nobody really talks about those guys.
Hi, Mary. I'm glad you're back on.
Me too. I owe you a beer.
No. He's gonna be kissing your ass now, Mary, because he's
forever. You got me on under the barrel now. Yeah, I'm ever in for.
But yeah,
unbelievable.
And I wasn't laughing about your question.
What was the question?
I don't know if Bigfoot would have been involved with Stonehenge in the Georgia Guidestones. I don't know.
I don't think he put up the Georgia Guidestones, but I do believe they're part of well, no, I don't. Let me go back a different narrative to this. Okay. Like you have the the Nephilim, and you have the giants, and the fallen angels. Some people, have that divide of uncertainty of who are they, what were they, where did the giants come from? Well, we know the giants were here before flood, if it was exactly all about a flood. I happen to think I have a different take on it, to where the fault line out through the ocean actually pushed up the surface of the bottom floor of the ocean, and it pushed the waters out, thrashing them, more so than it was a functional rain of 40 days. When we look at everything as we see it, and knowing rain and how much can come from a rainstorm and what makes a rainstorm sit longer over a particular place, 40 days is like, it just doesn't balance out in science. But if it was two events and something else occurred, the floor of the ocean, when it come up, that would explain all these sunken cities that are out 3, 5, 8, 10 miles out as well, that are not in high elevated water zones, but are now cities with pyramids under the water. And there's not just one, there's not just two, there are many. So the water never receded all the way back down because the plates never settled back in place. The sands kind of like sealed it, and the soot from the bottom floor of the ocean and whatnot probably made it impenetrable, where the water could not get back down to the level that it once was at. And that's why we've had this natural rise. It's not anything to do with the ice age and the melting of the Antarctic and the climate. Although I will say, yeah, of course we go through things like this scientifically. All these test tubes for 2 miles down show everything that I'm talking about is accurate.
Okay. Here's another thing Mary just put up. The Georgia Guidestones are a DS, a.k.a. Cabal, a.k.a. Klaus Schwab, plan to kill off most of weak cattle so they can live in luxury. Read Klaus Schwab, The Great Reset.
Well, Klaus Schwab is a banker. Klaus Schwab was a partner to Gates. So her analogy is actually correct in my mind, but I don't know if the entire focus surrounds that. The stones in many different languages posted say a little bit different, but it does give a narrative of why plant-based foods would be so important. We know this earth is perfectly okay to take care of itself if we take care of it and say thank you to it every day, as how we do it. Throw less things out the windows, pick up the trash from the ground when you see it, or get all this filth out of the oceans. We got plastic, seas of plastic out there bigger than states in the United States, coming from China and Japan, and even from the United States. We're guilty as well. So when you have clean water, clean air, plentiful, bountiful trees that you're not killing with climate change, and I'm sorry, I do weigh heavy on the things because I followed it for like nearly 25 years. 1950, in the war, we flooded ourselves and our own equipment sunk.
Right.
Okay, and they couldn't shut it off. So that was a man-made element that did rain for 50 days. And this is why I'm telling you, when it comes to the 40 days, that narrative changes, because to me, a natural occurrence is impossible. A man's hand has to be somewhat involved. And again, I don't know everything, but I do think something happened, whether it was a volcano eruption from deep underground of the ocean. Something created a second part of this event. I don't think it was.
I can understand that.
Does it make sense in any way that could, as a high? It does. Hypothetically, it's more plausible than anything else.
Where is West Elizabeth, PA?
Oh, okay, that's out off 51. 51 south, I think, is Elizabeth. So West PA be a little bit further towards like New Stanton, West Newton, or whatever you call.
Carl, where is that? Because I'm reading your thing, and that's the first I've seen that. Been documented, and skeleton remains of American Indians, 7 to 8 feet tall.
Yeah, and not only that.
Yeah, I never seen that.
Did you see the one I put on American Disclosure today? I put on a find from 1880. They were humanoid heads
With
with
everything
horns.
happening this past weekend and yesterday, I haven't really been on much.
Do
So
your
let's see what you put on today.
do your homework. All it is a picture.
Okay.
I think you'll like it. You'll be like, wow, that's really cool. But it's from the 1880s. Yeah. And why do these things all go missing? But getting back also to getting rid of the beef cattle and stuff. I mean, come on, this earth thrived when we had millions of white great buffaloes all over,
Oh, yeah.
plentiful over the United States. Nobody worried about a fart. No, not one single person worried about one. But give it the AOC, and that's the downfall. Listen, I made this offer to Bill Gates. Okay, I said I'll put you in I come to my house. We'll lock you in a garage with a cow all night, and see if you come out dead when we open the door.
Yes.
Versus I'll put you. And the next night, we'll put you in with a car, we'll close the door, and we'll see if you're alive the next day, and we'll know which one's more damaging.
Yep. All right. Everyone's telling me exactly where it's at. Now I know where it's at.
Okay.
And yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, this cow parts are killing America. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Now come smell one of my parts, then you'll say something. Especially after I eat Taco Bell.
All right.
Please,
Remember, you're going camping with these people. You're going camping.
I won't eat Taco Bell if you go camping with me.
Listen, don't be getting drunk and doing any tent hopping. You know, that serious kind of mistake where you go into the wrong tent. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's intentional, though. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, you know what would be really fun if you bring a game of Twister with you, and we'll see if we can get Bigfoot involved playing some Twister with us.
I don't know. I think he'd covered the whole board.
Yeah, pretty much. Huh?
Come on.
Pretty much.
Cover red. All right, all of them. Boom.
I mean, makes you wonder though. What everything we think we know about them? What is their entertainment like? You know, with a life that's so. It's like it's a 3,000-year-old life.
They don't need TV. They watch us.
Well, they can't see us all day long and all night long.
No, but
we're the occasional nightmare that shows up. Yeah, we're the occasional nightmare that shows up trespassing.
But you know what? That's why I said I got 1,000,001 other questions I want to get answered. And I don't give a shit about the DNA end of it. And it got to be a lot more scientific proof. Here's the proofs I want. I want to know what they're doing during the day. You know, why they're doing it like that. Well, I know why they're killing deer and eating it like we do, you know, for survival.
But you make a good point there. And we don't know how long they live either. But if it's passed down, teachings, and all animals are taught teachings of something.
Right.
That's why baby deers know within 1 week not to go near a human. They just instinctively. Now there are rare cases, like in my case, where they come up and they eat out of my hand, and I don't know why, but it does happen. I have pictures of it. Things like that have happened. Weirdness. But yeah, I mean, it's mind blowing when you think about it. So knowing that they participated years back with the Indians and feasts and rituals and dancing. And it's been said that these occurrences have been at least lures of things that have happened. Why don't they grow their own corn? Why don't we see them multiply in a different way? Or is it just that simple out there in the wild that they know so much more than we do on health curing and plants and vegetations to eat and bugs? And these are things you're also taught in the military.
Right.
Remember that. I mean, you're taught how to make snake eggs. You're taught how to, eat what bugs to eat, what bugs not to eat.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, I'd love to learn so much from them. You know, there's what they do during, like you said, their entertainment. I know what that one was doing for entertainment that night. I saw it. eh, he was seeing how close he can get to me without me noticing him, and he screwed up. But but yeah, what do they do?
I
Uh,
don't know. And
yeah,
again, and
and
again, it could have been pure.
I want to see how they travel around, and why they travel in certain areas, and just these ones want DNA, they want hair samples, other samples of their poop, and the whole 9 yards. I'm sorry, I want to know this other stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get that.
I'm not a scientist. I want to hear a scientist say why they're doing it, but I don't want to be the one checking that all out.
Right. And it makes you wonder too, is this all part of the development of the military industrial complex genetic experiment divisions? I
Right.
mean, we don't know what they're doing, but here, right now, just going back to what Mary said in a way, they are genetically cloning animals that are going to be of a different sort of a DNA, but will be meat protein. I don't know what these things are and if they're even being populated into the into the markets yet, but it seems like some of these things have taken place. One thing I can't, excuse me,
Genetic modified.
yeah, and foods are bioengineered now, even chocolate candies. Be careful,
I
M&Ms.
know.
It says right on the M&M bag, bioengineered.
Yep.
So, hello, America.
I quit
Yeah,
eating M&Ms, and that used to be my favorite.
yeah. There's a lot of things that I
I
had
buy.
as favorites. I'm afraid to touch anything anymore.
We got Dappin's Candy here in Sharon, Pennsylvania, and they got the factory in Farrell right next door, a couple miles down the road from their main store. Uh, we I buy from them. They
Hmm.
make it right there. Yeah,
What my big thing is sugar free, like little caramels, but they're not really. Well, they make caramels too, but they're
uh,
more like a hard candy, Werther's, and
Werther.
they're not too bad. They make a coffee chocolate, they make a
Yeah,
coffee caramel, and
my wife gets them.
I enjoy them.
Uh,
Now, I'm not
that boy
restricted to
loves
the.
chocolate here. This
Yeah,
bad boy loves chocolate.
I'm not restricted to the point where anything will kill me. When I find out I had what I had with being a diabetic, yes, I was at that point. I really was. I
Right.
was like 12.5 something, they told me. And they said they were surprised I wasn't in a coma. And I never did. But the next day I went home, I changed my lifestyle, and it's 3 years later now. I wear 33 size waist. I'm 63 years old, and people tell me I don't look it. So I think I changed my life for the better. I do stay away, but I do indulge when when I feel like it. Only because I know I'm burning the calories. Also, I'm making sure I work out, or I'm making sure I work, or I'm active somehow. That's why I can't wait. How much? And it's not that I want to lose weight, but I mean, now that I'm at a balance, at a very, very good point in my life, that way, health wise, now we're going to have to put up and tolerate summers with all this excessive humidity. And believe me, it's going to be hard to breathe when you go outside this summer.
No, Mary, the broadcast didn't end. Mary goes, the broadcast ended. She must have lost us. Um, the other,
As
yeah,
far as I know, we're still live. I'm
yeah,
not sure. Beth, are we still live there? All right, we'll wait for Beth to give me an answer on that, a
yeah.
response. Bettina Moss, where are you, chick? I sent you a duck. Okay, so Bettina was going to be ladies' night for Bettina to bring her in. She has
That's
a group.
right.
She has a group that we're going to have to get her in on because she has a
Yeah,
lot of very interesting stories and some very strong speakers with information. I was lucky enough to catch a couple shows.
we're not
Um,
live, Beth.
Everything here says we're live. They must be blocking
Oh,
my.
yes, live. Yes, live.
That's live. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. It's back again. It
All
must be
right.
maybe Mary. Maybe it's in your area. I didn't block you. I promise.
Yes,
He
you did.
did it this time.
No, I didn't. No, not me.
All right. So
Uh,
hey, it's getting a little bit late. Let me give you something that I heard just recent.
all right.
Okay. This was from last spring. You know, the deers were having their young and whatnot. I don't know, probably right after spring, between spring summer. A guy standing up on top of his hill in Reimersburg. All right, you know where Reimersburg is?
Yep.
Overseas East Brady and whatnot, but he was a little bit further down. But in that general area,
Okay.
there was a power line that's off the back of his property, tail end of his property. He's running his tractor down the tail end of the property, and he sees these yearlings there, little guys running around. You know how they do the playful run.
Right.
I guess the doe's there, the mother, and a couple other does, and another young, and they're just eating right in the center of a power line as he's passing, and he observes this. He observes this. It was such a flash of black, something which he cannot identify, but he knows he saw what he saw. As he's looking down, he has enough time to control his tractor. He's observing them down there, I guess checking them out. Maybe he's an avid hunter. Something comes out of the side tree line and just swoops a baby up and was gone. He had to stop the tractor to understand what he just saw. He stops it. He's looking. The deer scatter everywhere. So he knows conclusively something happened. Something occurred. He knows he saw something black. This is only Reimersburg, up off of 68. Okay, just so you have it, but I want you to know the gist of the location. Okay, there's a lumber mill right there. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. This story is about 11 months old, I guess, somewhere around there. Anyway, he saw a black flash, but not just one. As the one picked up this animal was the only thing he could figure out because it was just gone. Another one came from the opposite side, kind of came to meet it, and then they both left together in a flash. And he said it was a flash. It happened that quick. Their speed and agility of whatever this was, Dogman, New Jersey Devil, Bigfoot, I don't know. He can't conclusively say. He can identify as being black. It was not a bear. He saw movement of legs, but if a flash was everything, he stopped the tractor. The other deers just scattered. They were gone.
Well,
but he got his prey.
Yeah.
Short story.
Dogman, Bigfoot, New Jersey Devil, whatever it was, got what it wanted, and
right.
They were hunters because there was two of them. They were stalking. Whichever one got up on the side first or ran toward them, they could snag it up. But that one made that ass run to it and snagged it. So, and Bigfoot hunts that way.
That would be my idea and my thought as well.
And that's the only. I'm going to say Dogman probably does too.
Do you think they're as intelligent as Bigfoot? That's the whole thing. Are they more cannibalistic? I would think that they are.
Think they're more cannibalistic. And
yeah,
I think they're intelligent, but how intelligent, I don't know.
Yeah.
And all the stories that I'm just going by the stories told to me.
And me as well. And me as well.
I don't want to cross one. Ever's crossed paths with one. The other thing too is we don't know. There's been more sighting of Bigfoot than there was Dogman.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. So,
but it may be just the area.
It's so people are saying that's a myth. No, I believe they're out there. I believe they're out there.
I've never seen one.
So I don't know. That's my belief. I believe they're out there. Like I believed in Bigfoot until I saw one. And then I don't believe I know.
Yeah, right.
So
there are other intelligence. As serious as you are about the statement you just made, the same as I feel on the ones that I made on what I encountered. So it's like this. You don't have to believe anything if you don't want to.
Exactly.
And I don't know how to make anybody believe, but I can only tell the story. And as I said, I was a scared little shit wishing I never wished for what I wished for. and I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm man enough to say it. And I guarantee you, if you were in my position, and I'm just saying in the nicest way I can to non-believers, if you
Yeah.
were in my position, you'd have a new position. I guarantee you.
Even as a believer, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And people say, yeah, I hear that all the time. I'm telling you from experience. I always wanted to see one.
Yeah.
But then I had to deal with the PTSD after the fact. And I had to figure out why I'm all worked up like that. I was a soldier. I was a fireman and a medic. I had seen so much crap. I never got scared. Yeah.
Mary says that there are enough qualified researchers and investigators out there to verify the existence of dogmen, and I agree with her. The problem is we're not going to see everything in our life, but we've been fortunate enough to see what we've been blessed to see, and that's the important thing,
Right?
Right, Tina. Tina's still with us. Again, she has that big cryptid group. I want to get her in here with us.
I like that.
She's a little shy. Well, we're gonna do it though. We're gonna have a ladies' night. We're gonna get her in here. The dog man I just saw kept showing up.
Where was this at, Bettina?
Alabama, I believe. Yeah, see, this is why she had a lot of good. Listen, I've been in the green room for 2 days with this young lady, sharing things back and forth. I'm not giving her information because to me it's hers, and she should be the one to share it into any platform that she desires when it's streaming. But she has a lot of very good, credible information and deals with a lot of very good, credible people. And the reason I say that is when you hear some of the people that she's associated with and how educated they are on all levels of everything, these people are deep diving the stuff, man. They really are in it for the research on the whole platform of all the levels. Michael, sometimes people see things.
North Alabama, okay. That's the thing. I'm in for the research of it, not the scientific end, though. Like I keep saying. Bettina says, "Tell me some of the dogmen."
Don't you think science is going to play somewhat of a part to it, though, Bill?
Yeah, but I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, me neither.
So I want to learn the other ends of it.
Well, I get that, and
I'll take a scientist report.
Well, then you'll have on a white jacket, and you'll have on a white jacket collecting data, and that will make you a scientific researcher.
Yeah, that's true too.
You can't get out of the deal, dude. You're just not going to get paid for it. The government's not going to fund it.
I'm not in this to make money at all, because there is no way in hell I'll make money at it. I'm not that good of a businessman or something. I don't know. I'm in it to learn, and I will share my knowledge.
I know you will. I will
share, but if someone says prove it to them, I'll tell them to kiss my ass. Right. I'll share it with you. I'm not going to prove nothing. Get yourself out there, boots on the ground, get out there and investigate.
And that's what it is, too. And one of the secrets to the investigation that was given out a little earlier, as Bill said, return back to the scene of the crime, retake the same pictures that you took the night before, re-examine them, and then you'll have some answers. You might not have credible, but you'll know where to go next time. And you'll know how to deep dive into that search party with that search party in place to do it. So keep that in mind. And also, Tina's saying she really wants to talk to him. Tina loves talking to people that she can interview. So, yeah. And you know what? Here's the deal. He's going to have to go through Studio 10. We're going to have to get some contracts signed because you reneged on me tonight. You were supposed to be here.
Get a hold of me, Tina. Get a hold of me.
Bill will talk to you.
Mary was saying, told Bettina about Kumbo Baker and that. And Mary just got back from Land Between the Lakes down there. And that's a big dogman area. And she just keeps rubbing it in about being down there. Because I was supposed to go too.
Yeah.
But family things going on here, I couldn't go. Mary, keep rubbing it in. I'm going to have them block you again. No.
Well, we're going to have to also make it down to the Parker estate. I hear that
Oh, yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
this huge bed and breakfast out in the barn. There's a bunch of hay barrels, whatever. What do you call those? The hay bands, whatever.
Yeah.
We can sleep on and stuff. And Bigfoot hangs around the barns and stuff. But no, in all honesty, I mean, he's one of the only ones that I'm in touch with at this day and time that has the story that he has. That has some real fascinating information and clarity as to how he sees their actions and some of the things that you are describing that you want to know. I think it would be a perfect place. It's a hell of a long drive, but it'd be a perfect place for you to go. And I think you get some answers out of it all from everything that he's described.
Yeah,
However,
get some answers, and then it's going to make more questions. Yeah.
Well, we're always going to have
more
more.
and more. And I'm all for that knowledge. I'm not going to lie. I'm all for it. Yeah, Bettina, PM Mary Fabian.
Either that or
Kumbo.
Listen, I know how to get her. She has my own private phone number. We'll make sure that you're over there. That's not a problem. Share your information until you get more. Whatever it takes, and keep coming back into the shows because it's a support measure that we need for all people who do this type of work. Because we're going to be the ones that create the answers, and find the answers, at least some more, I hope. I tell you, I really can't wait for this weather to break all the way so we can hang out, because we'll do some stakes and some fascination stuff, man. I mean, it'll be good. It will be good.
Yeah. But Tina, I'm sending you a friend's request here as soon as I find you on here. But yeah, we definitely got to get together and hang out. And I got a lot of.
I have a really nice place. I should just throw you guys down. We should put something together and just have a thing up there because you need to get up to that side of the mountain and do some research as well.
Yes.
Take the quads down into the desolate parts of the strip.
Yep. There. Tina, I sent you a request. Hopefully,
Johnny, what's going on?
Hey, Johnny. The thing is, too, is definitely we get together. Maybe we get a whole group of people together.
I don't have a problem with that. I own it.
Yeah.
It's my place. No one can tell me what I can or can't do, so it's fine.
Yeah. Let's figure this one out. We'll get a bunch
I will tell you this though. You're gonna have more of a UFO experience than you ever would imagine.
No,
I mean, here's the thing. They do spray what kills a lot of that though, for stargazers and people who follow the satellites and the apps for satellites, so they know they can tell what's real, what's not. If they spray, they can create a lot of havoc and disruption into your experience. And I've been finding that to be a very heavily populated area of spraying in the last 2 to 3 years. So we'll just have to hope for a promising night with clarity in the sky and a nice sunshiny day where you can go out and really enjoy yourself up through the grounds up in that way. I can get you on pass and put you places, and we could share a really great experience through them back trails and stuff.
Oh, that sounds good. That does sound good. I
don't know for sure, but I think Tina wanted to be on Friday night on her side, but I'm not sure on that. So just for anything upcoming, I don't really have anything to say. I know I got some things to do with Dave Parker. I have 2 other guests that are coming in that I'll be doing some interviews with just for some upcoming, so you guys know it. And Tina's been a sweetheart. She's made some really good introductions to me to a couple really fine gentlemen that are really well informed these guys are like bred for research and they love it. And you're going to have to do something with those guys as well.
Yes.
You
Yes.
might have to create a string board. You know that.
I've been thinking about it. I've been
The more,
thinking about it.
the merrier, because actually, if you think about it, Facebook's really not that populated with information like this, and more
Oh,
is needed. There's a lot on YouTube, but when you go to YouTube, it's
the thing is too, yeah, like we discussed earlier, you got a lot of time involved.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of time, and I'm definitely been thinking about it, and like I talked to Mary Fabian today about it. Yeah, doing a live thing on the main page. But I've been tossing it around, Michael, with all honesty. And there's a lot of people I like to interview and that has had sightings and they want to talk about it. I would definitely love to do it. But it's trying to figure the time and the whole 9 yards. I already got a co-host laying behind me here, so I
yeah,
get that. But and the more we talk to people, more we get more information too, more knowledge.
yeah.
And
It's what it's about, really. It's
yeah,
about
exactly. And
sharing.
that's what I say about our group. We're not here to prove anything to anyone. We're here to share our knowledge and learn.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we all want to learn more about the Bigfoot and the other paranormal. So you know, let's be grown ups about it. And I had to make a statement to a guy in our group. I did it last night. I got on for a little bit and I was reading through the comments. And I said, you know what? We're adults, act like it.
Yeah.
Don't try to be a bully. Don't try to say you're going how to do this or that. Say how you do it, not how they should do it. And I said, because I'm not going to put up with that. I will start booting people out because we're here about information. We're not here to just to be an ass. Come down to it.
Yeah. Well, there is some of that going on out there,
Well,
and it's probably always going to be there. I still have people tell me that I'm crazy. And it's fine. You can think what you want to think, but I don't
right.
mind it even that they think it. It truly doesn't even affect me. The truth of the matter is I was fortunate enough to have it happen to me. I don't know why
Right.
I was picked. I don't know what it meant. Maybe there's a bigger picture to it. Maybe better things are going to happen for me from it, and I'll just look at the narrative that way for myself. So I've had to argue with so many people. Yeah, I
And
know.
I won't argue with them no more. And that's what I put on there. There's
Yeah.
no more argument, zero tolerance.
Yeah,
Zero
you gotta X them if it comes to that. You
Yeah,
really do.
I hate to do it that way. I want to give them some leeway, but you know what? I don't want the fighting, and I don't want the bullying, and I don't want you to be putting down people
Right.
on their experience and saying, well, the ones that said they're living amongst them or see them all the time, where's your pictures? Number one, I don't have to show you a damn picture at all. I'm not there to prove it to you. And number two, yeah, always, Tina, always. And I'm telling you, I'm not putting up with it no more. I'm going back to my old hardened ways instead of being Mr. Nice Guy. Uh, it's it's just ridiculous. We're all here together. And God bless the ones that do come forward. They don't need to be bullied. And I'm not going to put up with it.
Hey, let me ask Trony a question here. I believe he had an encounter, and he said he lived in his car by the river for 6 months. Now we know that they like to be by water. What are you referring to, Trony? I just want to make sure. That was 8 years ago. are still there. The page jumped. They're still there. I have a bond with them, and there aren't words for it. I don't know what he's referring to. I might have, excuse me, missed
I missed
something.
something there. I lived in a car by the river for 6 months. He made a bond with them there.
I'm guessing speaking of Bigfoot, though. That's what I'm taking from it, right?
Yeah. I missed part of that myself.
Yeah. Trony, be a little bit more clear, brother. I know who you are.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm backing up. I missed it.
Yeah, that's what happens to
I
me.
think he was talking about Mary being done. I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
We're kind of lost there, Trony. But
Gary says he's too old to prove himself. But Gary, you know, now there's an encounter that was like mind blowing that he had. They actually got verbalage from within the woods after gifting hot dogs, where they heard something like a thank you coming from the woods.
Gary, you and me need to talk.
Yeah, Gary's he's a rock star of a guy. He's had several encounters with them. He's had them to where they were tall enough where he lived in an apartment complex where the face was up at the window. When they went and stood by it, no normal person could have did what this creature could have done. But anyway, that would be a good story for you to discuss with Gary. I've already been over it with him, and I'm sure he'll come back in and talk. He's also a military guy. And more. He's pretty fascinated young. I'm going to call him a young man. He really is. And I shouldn't say pretty. He is a fascinating guy. He's a big supporter to Bigfoot. He's a believer, and he's a knower. All right, so Tony just popped back in. You get a feeling and trust. I don't want to expose them. That's the serenity and certain. I might got my glasses on. Does that say serenity?
Yeah.
And they
give you a mentality. They are the guardian of the human race. Yes,
maybe.
You're right.
They may be waiting for something that we don't understand, because that's part of the Indian lore too. Yes, they are here just waiting. And the Indians gave stories and told stories of creatures from underground as well, which they called the ant people. They came up and got the Indians, took them underground, and they lived there amongst them with them until it was okay to come back out on the surface of Earth from other occurrences of catastrophic issues. Best way to say it. So, yeah, Gary says, just friend me and I will talk with you on my messenger. And Bettina keeps jumping in and out. We like a woman who jumps in and out. Okay, it was ladies' night, Bettina. If I'm saying it correct, I'll just call you T for short.
Gary, I just sent one to you. Sorry for jumping in.
That's okay. That's okay. The Tina's saying the ones that I saw just watched from about 30 to 40 yards away, except from my first experience encounter. And again, you know, I have a feeling I'm never going to be able to actually have a good interview with her because she wants an interview with me.
I'll get her for you.
It's all good. However things work in life, it's fine. I want everybody to have success and rewards.
When I sing,
I want everybody to have success and rewards from all this. I really do, And don't forget about Mary and Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. Please go on to the group, join the group. They're fascinating, really lovable people, good-hearted people. Mary also sells a line of a lot of clothing goods that are related to Bigfoot. Everything from the cute baby stuff, Sasquatch, all the way up to Sasquatch size. What is that? 5 extra large? I don't know. I don't think they could get into a 5 extra large. I mean,
no, I don't need.
Shoulders 5.5 foot to 6 foot wide. I mean, geez, you'd have to sew 4 or 5 top coats together to wrap it around the guy.
All right, my co-host woke up.
Oh, that's not Atlas. That's the older one, right?
That's Venus.
Venus. Okay.
Yes.
Why did you name her Venus?
My wife did.
Oh, okay. Is she as into
I always named her
astrology?
because she's a pain in my ass.
The wife or the dog?
The dog. The dog.
Okay.
No. You're trying to get me hung out.
No, not at all. Not at all. I just was trying to understand the situation.
Trying to get me in trouble.
I'll let you interview me first. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder. I sent you 2 ducks in a row.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder, Tina. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. No, I really want to have her on. I think we'll have the truth of the matter is women have great voices and great knowledge. They're my warriors. That's why I have the Warriors of the 10. You might not know that, but I do. And the strongest people in these groups are the women. They are the leaders. They truly are. And I know you're going to be one too. We'll get you on. I promise. Mary, I'm going to hit up on Messenger after. Who are you going to hit up? Me? I don't know. She might be referring to you. No specifics to the name.
Mary, she's going to do it for Mary for Kumbo, I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Now, and the other thing too is that Mary, she's a strong woman. She's been out there. She's been learning and studying and sharing. If these people join the group, they go up into the file section and start going through thousands of files of information on it. You can have information overload.
Well, I got 47. I got 47 years of files that I'd be more than happy to sit with you with, but it'll take you 47 years to look through them.
Yes.
I guarantee you I'm not wrong.
No,
I have probably one of the largest archives out there.
Be safe, Tina.
Tornado weather here tonight. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is like the strangest anomalies of things going on. And of course, it's being blamed on solar flares heading towards Earth. The solar vortex has collapsed. These things happen. We're in emotion and
California started their tornadoes in Alabama.
What did in Alabama, brother?
The cows farted in California, starting the tornadoes in Alabama.
We need more steak. That's what we must need. More steak. I
want more steak.
Did you have a good time tonight, Bill?
I had a fun time. Believe me, it was great.
Cool. That's awesome. That's what matters. That's what it's all about.
Mary's had 5 encounters, Tina.
Yeah.
3 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Ohio, and 1 in Oklahoma.
Were they all Bigfoot?
Yes.
Okay. Were any female? Could she tell? I mean, there is an anatomy.
I never asked her.
There is an anatomy difference. It's noticeable,
especially with the women.
It's noticeable.
Patty. I noticed it on Patty.
Yeah, and now that they cleaned up the film and the video, I should put that new video up. I haven't.
She needs a bra. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get in trouble tonight.
Well, yeah, you're only voicing an opinion, but you know what? They don't seem to mind the way they're living, and I'm not going to judge the way these creatures live by any means.
Mary says all males.
All males.
All 5 were males. Go figure. She wasn't looking for the females.
Yeah. They're probably more gentlemanly like than the human males. Us guys mostly have one hand down our pants all the time.
Hey. Don't Bundy me. By the way, Al Bundy's from a few miles over from me.
Yeah.
He was born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah, the ex-Steeler.
Yep.
The ex-Steeler.
Yeah.
Yep. He turned out to be a fascinating human being. We've had a lot of good, credible people come out of Pennsylvania and Ohio. Yes. We really have. And a lot of believers, too, of different types of things from all over the world, all walks of life, movie stars, political leaders, and more, who do believe in things. I'll just say it that way. And that's the truth. And, we do have now uh, a party up in Washington who has been putting a whistleblower program together to protect people within these narratives and
Right.
these people that have information that can actually weigh in and help us once they're in this protection mode program that they have created. I can't wait to hear about all this. I really can't,
Right.
because there's ex-CIA, and we know what that's about. CIA it's I don't like the three-letter law enforcement. I'll say that, but there are good people that worked within them that had a different analogy and a different
I got a
aspect.
couple good friends that work in the Secret Service, and I learned some stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
you do.
not allowed to say because
You
they,
do. You
yeah,
really do.
I'm not allowed to say, but
No,
there
like,
you go. I'm not going to say on air. I'll tell
well,
you in person.
and I did as well. One of the first things, well, not one of the first things, but that would be a big lie. It's up in the probably closer to 100. But I call this kid Trucker. That was his
Okay.
nickname, because he drove a semi. He drove a rig. Um, I don't think he's listening to me, but if you are, brother, what's up, Trucker? Again, he's up from your way, okay? And he truly is. One of the most fascinating stories that he shared with me was the fact that he had military in his family, and he was a truck driver. And because of, I guess, some of who some people known, or the fact that I don't remember how he got the specific job, but his job, in many ways, was traveling the underground highways coast to coast.
Okay.
Which there's still a lot of people that don't believe. They just think it's a tunnel, goes in, it's only so big. No, we have
No.
freeways that go from one end of the country to the other in the
Yep.
United States.
Yep.
And there's no doubt about it. And the lighting frequencies that they use must work off frequency, because you don't even see a light bulb, but yet it's lit.
Yes.
It's technology that only Tesla's going to start to try to bleed out into the public, and that's the way I see that.
By
The
the
Tesla
way,
company.
I'm going to read something here real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Tina goes, "This was an awesome show tonight, guys." And Mary Fabian goes, "I agree, Tina, except for Michael blocking me."
Yeah, that'll teach you.
Oh.
Well, you know what? For that, you're going to get sent a duck next time. It may not be a duck, though, because the truth of the matter is, just so everyone knows this, Facebook is blocking StreamYard now, because anything that comes to Facebook is to be property of theirs, and they can use it. And StreamYard says, no, we have to protect our clients. I'm a client to StreamYard. So they told StreamYard that in 2 more days, I will no longer be able to use their platform to come into Facebook. So you may have to look for me under 10 o'clock talks on YouTube, and then it will be downloaded and transferred from there to here during live. So just so you know, it's not only happening to me. It's going to happen to a lot of others. I was attached to the CIA, yeah, overseas.
I believe it, Gare. Yeah, I went in the Army in '76, so Nam was over. My 2 uncles, my mom's brothers, they were in Nam when I turned 16. They both came home on leave at the same time, and my mom, because she already asked me, she says, "This war's been going on a long time. You're going to be getting out of school soon. You got a few options to come up with." I went, "Okay." And I'm looking at her kind of confused. She goes, "You can go to college, you can enlist, you can get drafted, or you can go to Canada." And I looked at her. I'm 16 years old. I'm full of piss and vinegar. And I went, "I don't run from anybody fighting in school, so I ain't going to run to Canada. I might go to college, but I'm probably going to join the Army." And she just sat there. She looked at me, dead face. She goes, "Well, that's not the answer I wanted. She says, but I'll support you if you finish school first. I went, all right. I said, but the war might be over. Well, I was 17, 11th grade. Me and the assistant principal have been battling. And finally I said, the hell with it. I'm getting out. Well, I was 16 going on 17. And so on my 16th birthday, January 23rd, 1976, I walked into the office. I already had the papers. My mom signed it because I agreed to get my GED. Took it in the office. They tried to talk me out of it. And I says, the principal and secretary, they says, you've been great in school here, Bill. We always liked having you. I says, you like giving me inside detention. No, I'm going. I'm going to the service. And I did. I went right into the Army. And I loved it, other than they didn't send me overseas anywhere. They kept me in country, their own country.
I hear you.
Because I wanted to travel, see the world. The service is over. The war is over. And most of them were coming out as I was going in, or the last of them was coming out. Thank God for that. But as I was going, my uncles come home. And they sat down, they explained to me different things that were going on over there. And they didn't pull back nothing. And my one uncle, he was in the Air Force, he was military police. If he's getting shot at, he had to call in and get permission to shoot back.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't matter if it's friendly fire or enemy fire. And I looked at him and I says, so, was you firing back when you called in? He says, yes, we were. He says, and they would have known it, I'd be in Leavenworth right now. I went, well, you're not, so you're here. And he goes, let me show you a few pictures. He showed me pictures of different ones that were shot and blown up over there, trying to deter me. My other uncle was telling me experiences he had. I went, all right. And after we were all done for over an hour of talking, and they go, well, what are you going to do? I says, I get out of school, I'm joining the Army. And they just looked at me. They looked at my mom thinking, his mind's made up. You ain't going to change it. And that's what I did. I went in the Army. And Gary, I salute you for your service, brother, and all service personnel. Because, back then, we didn't get no respect. With all honesty, even when I was in and NOM was over, and the government made sure of it.
the governments are the worst.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. I don't even know what to say because I know how true it is, and it disgusts me on how our military has been sold out for the dollar.
Yes, exactly.
And rules of the law.
Look what happened over at Desert Storm. What they did to those boys over there. They did not have the armor or anything they needed.
Right.
Our
military.
Now you're going to get going on a bad tyrant there. And you're right, Gary. Your bodies came back, but your mind's still there. And there's things I seen while I was in. Okay, I shouldn't have seen. Yeah, I see why you went and there. Yeah, I understand that, getting laid off all the time. But different ones, different friends of mine that were over there that are gone now because of Agent Orange. Who spread it? Our damn government.
Yeah, government did.
Our damn government. They killed good people off. No, they're just getting it. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up now because we're going to have another 4-hour show going with this.
You know what? I'm gonna put a military show together with some people and a book author. He's in his 80s. His name's Bill Muckler. I did a couple shows with this gentleman. He's wrote 2 books as well. He's been in 2 different areas of our military branches. High up, good guy, very very well spoken, very very intelligent. Because I mean, he is in his 80s, and I mean that when I say 80. I don't want to
Yeah.
say how, but he's in
He's
that
up.
platform. He's
Right.
up there. So he's had his 80th birthday sometime back. Okay, I'll say that to you.
Wow.
But he's a fascinating man with a lot of stories, different analogies, and I think that would be a good show format for you guys to get on there and talk with me, us, them about some of these uncertainties that people don't even understand. All these facts,
Oh, my God.
they forget about everything. They truly do. And the one thing
I try to watch a lot of that. Gary probably has tried, but with the stuff he saw, I doubt if he can. It's just unreal. And when I went in, compared to my daughter's boyfriend, he's still in. He's in the reserves. He works for the military too, on the civilian end of it. But like he said, there are a bunch of babies in there now compared to when we were in. You basically got to give them a safe room. Get the hell out of here. When I went in, when Gary went in, they treated us like we were dirt when we first went in for our basic training. We were lower than dirt. But they molded us into men. Now they got to mold them into wannabes.
We don't know what we're getting. Last year we had 62,000 came in, and how things are working with basic training and more now. I don't know if we're getting sissy squads or what, but these are not people ready to fight in any kind of war.
No.
They are not that mindset. They are not trained that way. There's a difference of how military and I hate to say this because I'm demeaning my own flag, but it's sickens.
No, you're not demeaning the flag. You're demeaning the way that these guys are being trained because we became.
It's a setup. It's all by design.
Yeah.
Fairy costumes, and I mean, what the freak is going on here? It's sick. It's sick, and you expect them to go protect the United States of America? Come on, man. This is it's one of those selections, not elections. It's all by design again. And
that's the thing. Yes. And I got a bad problem with that because I was trained to kill. Straight up trained to kill. When you're in basic training, you're trained to kill. They're whipping you in shape to kill. What are they training these boys for? And girls.
Pronouns.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, and we're supposed to differentiate, good and evil. All right. Yeah. All right. But you got to have a little bit of a conscience so you know the difference between good and evil, right and wrong, whatever. But
I got to tell you something.
These guys, they're not trained to do anything.
Right. If I was to go into a firefight, I'd want you with me and Gary with me before I want 10 of these newbies.
Yes.
Because the last thing I want to do is have to protect them and know that they don't have my back, because once they get there, they're afraid to have to take a life when it's necessary to take one. Because that's what makes a man or a woman in that moment when you need to pull that trigger. And many people have killed men before. It's sad, but it's true, and it was necessary. The problem.
Wait a minute.
Sure.
They just released a bunch from the Army because they wouldn't take the shot. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's been going on. They're doing
Never mind. I was misreading that. You're right. I heard about that, Gary.
Yeah, they're doing bi-monthly releases.
Yeah, two of them are high-ranking officers. Yeah. Well, look at the hospitals too, Gary.
They're getting rid of
all these workers, and they're short-handed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they have the National Guard set up there. You know, most of our military right now is in other countries.
Yes, I know.
We don't have anything here with any backbone except for you.
Yeah.
Gary, no, we're ex-military is our military more so than anything.
Yep.
Because the other I don't mean that. The other personnel is protecting the other idiots up in Washington, D.C. around the Capitol and White House.
I never surrendered my oath.
Okay.
I never relinquished it at all when I got out of the Army.
You didn't sign your final paper?
Yeah, I signed my final paper. I'm released from the Army, but I did not give up my oath of protecting this country from foreign or domestic.
Understood.
Neither did Gary when he got out.
Yeah, I understand.
They would not let you do that when you got out of the service.
Like, that's because now they want to impose a new draft now. I mean, I understand why they did it with you, because there's always a reoccurrence where you might be needed again. But now I really do expect them to start some type of draft. You'll see Joe surround himself by military people. You'll start to see a propaganda of commercials where they're idolizing and worshiping him as being the top commander in chief that we ever had before. And then you're going to see a whole different narrative of where we go. And I guarantee you, the draft will come back.
He does not have the backing of the military.
Who, Biden?
Yeah.
He most certainly does. He's dismissing them all, which means they're inadequate for anything that we need. When you dismiss him, he's in charge of them. And he's seeing that he is.
Yeah, he sees that he's in charge of them, but they don't back him.
That's why he's dismissing them. That's why Milley told him, Trump's no longer your president. We will deal with you. That was a statement made right on national TV.
Yeah, I know.
And it's sad. But the truth of the matter is, I get where you're coming from, and I agree with you 100% plus. But that's really where we are. So what is he doing with all this? Why are they doing it the way they're doing it? So they can tear our military apart. That's exactly. They want to make us the
country.
Right. They want to make us come in last, as if we didn't make them come in first.
But that's how it is. But anyhow, we better get going here. I got
brother.
Tomorrow.
Hey, everybody. I know we got off narrative here with military talk, but you know what? You got to salute a brother when you have a brother in front of you and thank him. So everybody, we appreciate you stopping and checking out the show, Studio 10 o'clock Talks, the American Disclosing Uncensored Narrative, the Dark Side Radio Network Project. And if you do hear of another one called the Dark Radio Network, I swear to God, man, there's coattail stealing going on here.
Yeah.
But that's life. All right. His name's Glovin, by the way. Brother, have a great night. We'll talk again soon. And remember, we're going to make a date up as far as when you're going to be free. I know you're going through things. Blessings to your brother and
thank you.
Well wishes to your wife. I'll be thinking of you later this evening. I promised you that, and I will do that. And to everybody else out there, you're in our prayers. We love y'all. Go Bigfoot.
Thank you. And good night, all.